I got to see the new I Know What You Did Last Summer film early last night, and I'm not gonna beat around the bush with this one, folks. This one is Major Dookie, a certified stinker, if you will. Let's break it down in today's spoiler-free review. Hey everybody, I'm GullGotha Chubbs, formerly known as Killjoy Jake, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. The plot description for the fourth installment in the I Know franchise reads, when 5 friends inadvertently cause a deadly car accident, they cover up their involvement and make a pact to keep it a secret rather than face the consequences. 1 year later, the past comes back to haunt them as they learn someone knows what they did last summer. Stalked by a mysterious killer, they soon seek help from 2 survivors of the legendary Southport Massacre of 1997. Unfortunately, this Scream 5 ripoff is one big pile of flaming Triceratops dung, specifically this one.
That is one big pile of shit.
You said it best, Ian. The initial off-putting introduction to our new main characters is where I knew I just wasn't going to like this film.
What does it say?
Ava, played by Chase Sue Wonders, talks to herself as she gets ready, sets up a ton of stuff with her character in a rigid, unnatural way, and then it never comes back to influence the film ever again. So the new Julie James of our movie really has little to no character development, even though the setups are there. The first of many sloppy writing choices. Then Danica and Teddy are introduced, and if you thought Barry from the original film was a little too much, these characters are beyond insufferable. Danica either screams, mumbles, or cries through her lines throughout the entire film, and sometimes she's not even audible. I actually had to lean forward in my chair a few times to make sense of the potential maybe words coming out of her mouth. I don't know, it might have just been a bunch of nonsense. I definitely missed like 4 or 5 of her lines throughout this one. This movie should have came with built-in subtitles, or maybe that was just gibberish, I'm not sure. Madeline Klein's stiff performance here has to be the most shocking thing about this entire movie. I have been doing nothing but praising this film for casting her because I love her on Netflix's Outer Banks. I would even go so far as to say she's the standout role. I know she can act, but here she is just downright annoying and hard to watch. It genuinely ruined every single sequence she was in. This is one of the biggest wastes of such an excellent actress I think I've ever seen put to screen. I could not stand any of the sequences with her. And Teddy is a straight up tool, dude.
Everyone chill out! We don't tell anybody what happened tonight.
He's introduced as a protagonist here, but he would probably be the bully character in a better horror movie. I'm convinced that if you shaved this character's head, just like Damien from The Omen, underneath there you would find a pentagram made out of dicks. This character was prophesized to suck major balls. These are not characters I want to be following for a movie that's longer than 90 minutes. None of these characters have the sympathetic edge that the folks from the original did, which is why you kind of want to root for them even though they did do something bad. As you've already seen in the trailer, Teddy is the one who causes the accident, but man, they fumble this scene so badly. This could have been way more suspenseful than the original if they set it up properly, but the edit on this movie must have been done within the last week, because the choppy cuts throughout are borderline laughable. That's the tough thing about this movie to me. I think they were going for the campy, fun energy of the original too, that yes, have some so bad they're good, silly moments. I understand that, but you can't force something like that, otherwise you get a product like this, which comes off as just straight up bad and boring. I think the intention was to create a so bad it's good movie, but the problem is every so bad it's good movie that has ever existed across time was not meant to be a so bad it's good movie. That kind of humor is unintentional from the directors and the creatives. With I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, for example, they were trying to make a good sequel to that original flick, but a lot of it comes off as just too campy and outrageous. It ends up being a so bad it's good masterpiece that's totally unintentional. Unfortunately, the same can't be said with this movie because they were trying to force that. To give a pretty good example of this without spoiling anything, there's a sequence where a character has to walk down a dimly lit hallway to flip some sort of switch on the other end. Somehow they don't notice that the fisherman is standing maybe 6 inches away from them in front of a statue. They flip the switch and start walking back the way they came, and the fisherman comes after them. So, like, 2 big questions there. First of all, how do you not see someone who is like literally right here, like a little maybe closer to your peripheral vision, but still basically standing in front of you 6 inches away? I'm not exaggerating. And second, if you're the fisherman, if they didn't notice you standing right in front of them, why wouldn't you just hook this person in the face? This scene was so frustrating it made me want to tear my hair out, but at least it results in the very best kill the fisherman has ever gotten in this entire franchise. I'll give this movie that.
Please stop.
One other small positive I'll give to this movie is that the legacy characters absolutely carry here.
What are you waiting for?
Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. share a few scenes together that are no contest the best sequences from the entire film, because these two actually understand their characters unlike literally everyone else in this obnoxious movie. You know your movie's cringe when there's an entire subplot about a character realizing that they're a beta, and then hashing that out with themselves in a car alone. That is a real cringe scene in this unfortunately real and cringe movie. And then dude, don't get me started on the dream sequence or the very lame tease for a sequel at the end. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. I have never rolled my eyes at two scenes so bad that were clearly just here to fuel the nostalgia engine. It ain't keeping this ship afloat, man, I'm telling ya. Did I mention that they reference I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer? A film that nobody ever wants referenced again in this franchise? There are certainly some surprises throughout this one, but don't get your hopes too high. Now, the twist ending actually made me think a little bit, the first time in this entire movie, unfortunately. I'm on the fence if I like it or not, however. I can guarantee you right now that not everyone is going to like it, and I'd even go so far as to say it's ballsy as hell, but it doesn't save this film from the insufferable first two acts that gave me a migraine. Now, I really don't want to spoil this because in my opinion, it's one of the better parts of the entire flick. It's just not earned. It is a genuinely good idea on paper. I dig it quite a bit, but there's not enough good setup for it. The best twists in movies find a way to be both obvious yet hidden in plain sight, and this is just far too obvious. You can tell that the writer of this one just wanted to make this thing happen, but didn't set up a good pathway to get there. Had this twist been executed by a stronger creative team, I think it might have totally blown our socks off. And they also totally spoil it for you at one point. Like, just, there's no doubt about it, if you're paying attention, you will figure it out. It's a Scream 6 thing all over again. Again, the very obvious script for what is supposed to be a murder mystery just ends up being total dog water. I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025 is scraping the bottom of the crab barrel, and I'd put it alongside classics such as Jeepers Creepers Reborn, The Strangers Chapter 1, and Halloween Ends. This was a major waste of time and a boring bummer of a summer blockbuster. I'm gonna steal Fantano's rating scale for a second here and give this movie a light 1. Well, that's Glubicus Chubb's review of I Know What You Did Last Summer, and yes, I'm actually changing my name to that. Here's my brand new logo, I made it myself. Let me know your thoughts on this brand new movie down in the comments below. I promise I'm not this negative in every video, so please make sure to subscribe for more horror content on upcoming terrors. Thank you all for watching, please subscribe, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.